Yes, and I don't know that anybody expected India to be an immediate opportunity. Obviously, it's a big economy, and Amazon's pretty deliberate about how they're rolling out. They're only operating in about 20 countries, and they're looking for the biggest GDP economies, to roll out. They see India as a big opportunity, but I don't think anybody thought that was a Q1, revenue generator. It's really going to be a all 2019, 2020, maybe 2021 investment. And that's really probably why we were surprised that Amazon's going to spend a lot of money in front of driving a lot of revenue.
The immediate impact, though, Michael, as you had outlined, was up to 400,000 products in India that could be pulled right now, which would be basically a third of total sales in India.
Yeah, but total sales in India it's not a big number in the aggregate.
Of course.
So yes.
Okay. In terms of this rule going into effect today, this is really to protect the mom and pops. What's the context of this, especially given elections in India are coming up in about 4 months?
Yeah, so Modi's government has become increasingly more protectionist in the last couple of months. And to your point, it really has to do with this upcoming election in May, where there is a good chance the current Prime Minister Mody, will not get reelected. And part of that is due to these backlashes coming from small businesses and mom and pops, which, by the way, make up 90% of India's retail market. All right, so they make up a majority of India's retail landscape. The big chains only make up 10%. So a couple of years ago, you had Amazon and Walmart who entered India, and they heavily discounted their products to attract the Indian consumer, to incentivize them to come online. And now you have a lot of these small businesses who are lobbying against the expansion of these big foreign companies, saying we're losing jobs and we're losing market share.
And what would these rules do?
One of the rules would stop the foreign e-commerce companies from discounting their products, and the other stops them from selling products that they have an equity stake in, a vendor that they have an equity stake in. So it makes them a little bit harder to keep their price point where it's at right now, which actually has worked very well in getting more Indians online.
I was just thinking about the fact, Lauren, that if you're looking for that growth, you were looking to China. We know the challenges there. You're looking to India, especially under Modi, and thinking, maybe this is it, and now they get slapped in the face.
It's a great point, Kelly. So India, amongst retail gurus, would call it, it's the last frontier. China's taken. India is big, it is growing, and when it comes to e-penetration, it's still quite small, and a lot of analysts expect a lot of growth. I think that the current e-commerce number is about 15 billion, according to one Morgan Stanley report. I've seen some fluctuations, but that's really expected to grow. And so now that you have these new restrictions at a time that both Amazon and Walmart have placed big bets, it's not ideal timing.
There was a lot of criticism of Walmart, though, when they bought into Flipkart, that it was way too expensive. They were only spending that amount of money to keep Flipkart from going into the hands of Amazon. At this point, given these regulations, does it look even more so that they overpaid for that?
I think it's a little bit too early to tell, right? Because it's still very early days. As Seema mentioned, there's an election coming up. What happens after the election? What kind of conversations are going on behind the scenes? There's a lot of uncertainties. And frankly, we've seen Walmart and Amazon already figure out existing regulation in India. So it could be that they can figure out this new regulation as well.